guys, so today I'm going to go and look at some horses and I'm really excited, so let's get started. I see your face. So the first horse that I'm riding is Raven, and he is a gelding off the track thoroughbred, and he is 6 years old. And when I got here, he was already tacked up and he was already a little bit sweaty, like someone already rode him. So I am going to try him out anyways. I'm not liking that someone technically already rode him and stuff like that, so I just warmed him up again, just to see how he was in the walk and the trot. I didn't like that he was already tacked up as well, but it is what it is. I'm going to try him out anyways. And he is also, I didn't say his height, he is 16 3 hands. So he's not too tall. Alright. I took him over this Oxer cross rail at like a slower canter, and he popped that really nicely. And then I didn't want to jump him too much just because he was already very sweaty, so I didn't want to do too much with him just because he is younger, and I already just didn't like that someone rode him, so I didn't do too much with him. I just had him stretch out a bit just to see how that felt. And he felt similar to Sully, which if you guys don't know, Sully is my retired off the track thoroughbred, because he had an injury that literally ended his career. So yeah. But this boy felt similar to Sully, since Sully is an off the track thoroughbred and I got him when he was 7, and this guy is 6, so it's not as bad. But Raven, he's alright. I'd have to try him again and tell them not to have anyone ride him, so I could actually tack him up and see how he is with that. But on to the next horse. I see your face in mine. Oh. The next horse we have is Mr. Happy. He is a Dutch warm blood. His ad said that he is 12 years old and he is 16.3 hands as well. So they're all around the same size I'm looking at. And this guy mainly does dressage, and he just started getting dabbled into jumping, so we will see how he does. I'm going to tack him up off camera because I just don't want to record myself tacking him up right now. Alright, well, I'm going to tack this boy up and get on him and see how he is. Alrighty, so I am up on Mr. Happy now, and I had some people come out here and set up some jumps so that I can try him over some jumps after I warm him up. And I can't speak for some reason. Automatically, he is really nice under saddle, mainly because he has that dressage background, and I don't know, he just feels very floaty, which is really nice feeling. I don't have a corsage horse yet, so that is nice to see that he's really nice in dressage. Do a little sit trot on him, see how that feels. His trot actually isn't bouncy, like as bouncy as Dandy's, my other horse. But this boy is actually kind of smooth. And let's see, the canter, quite nice. not bad. Turn to the other direction. And then I'm gonna pop him over the cross rail and see how he does. And I'm gonna stay in this nice canter and see how he does. Come on. Good boy. I literally felt him backing off on that. My goodness. He's definitely new at jumping. But that actually didn't feel that bad for his... I don't know how many times he's jumped, but that actually wasn't too bad. Good boy. And for him being 12 too, this is not bad. And I want to see if he'll do this one. No. Easy. Alright, let's go a little bit on a faster speed, because I haven't really opened him up yet. See his faster gates. Alright, let's try doing this straight away. Good boy. He's really nice. Ooh. Well, I'm gonna leave him off there, and I'm gonna go and cool him out. And we're gonna get on the next horse that's over here at Golden Leaf Stables. And I'm gonna go and get him, because he's actually in the pasture. So, I'm nervous, because I know what he is, so I'm nervous.
I see the glow in your eyes.
I literally almost forgot to show you guys him. I literally started talking about the last thing I need to do with this boy is his bridle. But let me tell you, this boy was a mess, by the way, out in the pasture. He had mud all over him and dirt and everything, so I had to give him a deep clean. He literally just said yes behind me. This is Mr. Ace, and I don't remember his breeding, but I know he has some off the track thoroughbred in him mixed with something else. I can't fully remember. And he is, I think, 5 or 6 years old, maybe 7. I'm not 100% sure. They literally just told me how old he was, and I already forgot. But I'm going to get his bridle on real quick and get on him. And this boy does mainly jumping, so I'm not going to do too much jumping with him because he is a chunky boy. Yes, he's very chunky. I forgot to say how tall Ace was. Ace is 15'3", so he's actually on the shorter side. And they set up a really nice course for him. And I'm really excited to see how tall this boy can jump, because they put these really high, and I'm nervous. My goodness, I have something in my eye. Alrighty. So, right off the bat, I already warmed him up. So, I was going to just go right into jumping him. And every time he saw a fence, he would get super fast. Like, super fast. So, I found out that he was very forward-minded, which is actually not bad. So, I just was pointing him at the fences, and he was just going at it. This was the part where I was, like, kind of sold on this horse, except for I did a really bad distance to that. He was a decently good jumping horse. For being a chunky boy, he was surprising me, that's for sure. And then I tried doing this jump. And afterwards, he kind of like stopped. And I didn't know why. So then I tried it again at a slower pace, but coming towards it. And he jumped it, and then he stopped again. And I didn't know why. So then I was like, afterwards I got off of him and looked at my cameras, and he was lame. So that's fun. So yeah. On to the next horses.
Oh, I see you. The glow, the shimmer in your eyes, the smile.
Alrighty. So our next horse is right here, Mr. Blue Eyes. And he has really pretty blue eyes. So this is Mr. I cannot remember your name right now. They call him Augie, but his actual name is August. And he is my only stallion on this whole list. And he is also the youngest out of all of them. He is 4 years old, and he does only dressage, but they also started jumping him as well. So I'm going to tag him up real quick and get him started. So, yeah. Alrighty, so I'm up on Mr. Augie, and I didn't say how tall he was, so he's actually 15'2" hands, so he's a bit shorter than Ace, so I'm really excited to try this boy out. I already kind of like walked him over and walked him around because they were setting this all up, which is insane. There's so many poles everywhere. It's kind of overwhelming for me, but it is what it is. So this boy has a long and stretchy trot, which wasn't too bad. And then I asked him for a nice canter to go over these poles. And he was doing a really good job with picking up his feet, which was good to see. And I wanted to try him over this jump that's in the middle here. And then this line. So I wanted to see him over this cross rail first. Going a nice slow speed. I put my leg on, and he just popped over it like it was nothing. And I could tell that they've been doing jumping a little bit longer with this boy than they were with Happy, just because I had to actually like have vocal cues with him as well as kicking him. So, but with this boy, I didn't really have any vocal cues or anything. I just was like putting my leg on, telling him that it's okay to go, and he just was going. And then I did these trot pulls, which were kind of messy. He did kick a couple of them. I went back to the middle, did another canter line over these poles to see if he would be okay with doing that. And he did hit a couple of them. But overall, this boy was not too bad. He was actually one of my favorites of today, but we had one horse left to try, and I was really nervous about trying this next horse because the name of this horse was the most coolest name I've ever seen on a horse, and I was really excited to try this next horse out. And this horse is also here, so I went out to the pasture to go and get him, and here's that footage.
Makes everything better.
to go and get him, and he was whinnying to me when I was out in his pasture. He was so excited to see me, which was something new. I've never had a horse do that. The only horses that have done that to me are my main horses, and I grabbed him and put his halter on and walked him back to the barn. So, like I said, I got him and walked him back to the barn, and he is a Palomino gelding. He is 16 3 hands, and he is a 8-year-old, and he can jump up to 5'3", I think, or 5'8". I don't actually know exactly how tall his ad said he can jump, and he is a all-arounder, so he can do dressage, cross country, and show jumping, and which is actually what I was looking for in a horse, well, especially my next horse, since my horse that did that is retired because of his injury that he had, and I have a pony that just does jumping. I have a ginormous 18 hand, technically 18 or 17 hands, and he's klutzy, so yeah. I needed something that could do everything that wasn't klutzy, and I feel like this guy was really nice. So I walked him up to the barn and brought him in, and this boy was so excited to see me, which was surprising because I've never seen this horse in my life. It just meant that he was a very friendly guy. And I'm also going to be announcing his name right now. This beautiful Palomino boy's name is Fuego. And that name I've never heard before, especially for a horse. So I fell in love with his name, and I still had to figure out prices and everything, but jumping this boy was fun. So I was warming him up, and I wanted to do this line of jumps first with him, and he was super duper nice to jump. And jumping him this big right off the bat was kind of crazy. They said that they already rode him earlier that day, so he could literally do any type of tall or small jumps if I wanted, and I told them to just do whatever. I was in for a treat, that's for sure. And looking at these jumps with like editing this, that was the most craziest jumps, like heights that I've ever done, especially with me trying a horse, was kind of crazy. I ended up just doing one more jump and then cooling him off and untacking him because I didn't want to do too much because they did say they rid him already that day. So I was in love with this horse. I was in love with around like 3 horses after this day, and I didn't know which one I was going to pick to be the horse to come home. I was overwhelmed. So I untacked him and went home and started doing some crunching of numbers and everything. And yeah, I'm gonna need your guys' help. So yeah. Let me know in the comments what horse you think I'm going to be buying. And I also have a poll on my channel that I'm going to do, so you guys can also pick what horse you think I'm going to be buying. And I will see you guys in the next video introducing which one I bought. So I'll see you guys in the next horsey video. Bye!